I take the digital balance. I think the connection is... Yes, we are connected. Start the broadcast now.
In the center of St. Peter's Square stands an Egyptian obelisk, red granite, 25 meters of solid stone. It came from Heliopolis, where it was built to face the sun. It has no hieroglyphs. Every other ancient Egyptian obelisk brought to Rome has them. This one does not. The pharaoh who built it is unknown. No inscription, no cartouche, no name. The object is approximately 4,000 years old, and it is anonymous. It has never fallen. At the base of the shaft, the inscriptions it carries are Roman. Sacred to the divine Caesar Augustus, son of the divine. To Tiberius, Caesar Augustus, son of the divine Augustus. The oldest object in St. Peter's Square is dedicated to two emperors. Neither of them is a saint. The obelisk began at Heliopolis, a city whose name means City of the Sun, built around a temple to Ra. A Roman prefect moved it to Alexandria on the orders of Augustus around 28 BC. It stood in the Julian Forum. Caligula had it shipped to Rome in 37 AD. A vessel was built specifically for the crossing. After delivery, the ship was sunk, used as the foundation of a breakwater at the harbor. The ship that carried the obelisk is now the floor of a port. Caligula placed it on the spine of a circus he was building on Vatican Hill, on land inherited from his mother. The circus was completed by Claudius, made public by Nero. In 64 AD, Rome burned. Nero blamed the Christians. What followed was documented. Mass executions, carried out in the circus on Vatican Hill, where the obelisk stood. A document from the 2nd century places Peter's execution between the two turning posts of the circus. The obelisk stood on the spine between them. The circus fell. A necropolis was built over it. A basilica was built over the necropolis around 326 AD. The obelisk remained outside, to the south, where Caligula had placed it. It stood there for another 1,200 years. Chund. In 1586, Pope Sixtus V ordered the obelisk moved to the center of the new piazza being built in front of the basilica. The stated purpose, a triumph of Christianity over paganism. The object would be purified, exorcised, blessed with holy water, a cross placed on top. Its pagan associations formally expiated. A competition was held for the engineering. Approximately 500 proposals were submitted. An architect named Domenico Fontana won by building a scale model in lead and demonstrating the method in miniature. The full operation required 13 months of preparation, 800 men, 160 horses, 45 winches. The obelisk was lowered, placed horizontal on a cradle of rollers, and moved 260 meters. On the 10th of September, 1586, it was moved. On the 28th of September, it was raised. Before the cross was placed on top, workers opened the bronze globe that had sat at the obelisk's peak since the Roman era. Medieval tradition held it contained the ashes of Julius Caesar. It was empty, only dust and dirt. The pedestal inscription, carved in Latin and still readable today, says, "To the invincible cross, the Vatican Obelisk, expiated of impure superstition. The earth packed into the base of the pedestal was said to have been brought from Mount Calvary." In 1817, workers returned to the square and set circular stones into the pavement. The stones were placed to mark exactly where the tip of the obelisk's shadow falls at noon as the sun moves through each sign of the zodiac. A long, thin strip of granite runs from the base of the obelisk toward the Pope's window and through one of the fountains, the meridian line, indicating when the sun crosses its highest point of the day. The obelisk, exorcised of its solar associations, formally dedicated to the invincible cross, topped with a cross, was turned into a precision solar clock. The zodiac signs are marked in the pavement. At noon on the winter solstice, the shadow tip falls at the farthest stone. At noon on the summer solstice, it falls almost at the base. The markers are still there. The shadow still moves through them every day. In 2021, researchers conducted daytime meridian transit observations of stars from the zodiacal disk positions in the square. A paper was presented at a major international conference on general relativity in 2023. The Vatican Obelisk is still functioning as an astronomical instrument. The version of this story that circulates widely online holds that the obelisk and the elliptical colonnade form a deliberate occult solar wheel, that the church placed a pagan sun symbol at its center because church leadership secretly worships the sun. The pedestal, carved in 1586 and still standing, says otherwise. The exorcism text is on the western face. The dedication to the invincible cross is on the north face. The church's documented position on the object it moved is not hidden. It is carved in stone at human eye level. The documented version is different from the legend. The documented version is stranger. The date of Easter is not arbitrary. The rule was set in 325 AD at a council convened by Emperor Constantine. Easter falls on the first Sunday following the first full moon that occurs on or after the vernal equinox. That rule has not changed. Easter cannot fall before the 22nd of March. It cannot fall after the 25th of April. The equinox in the ecclesiastical system is fixed at the 21st of March. To calculate Easter, the Church needs to know where the sun is. Between 1650 and 1750, 4 Catholic churches were built or modified to function as precision solar observatories. Meridian lines embedded in their floors, apertures cut in their roofs, specifically to establish the precise moment of the vernal equinox for Easter calculation. Pope Clement XI had an astronomer build one such meridian in a church in Rome. The papal calendar reform of 1582 was itself driven by the need to correct the date of Easter. The old Julian calendar had drifted. The equinox was arriving on the wrong day. Easter was landing in the wrong place. The calendar was reformed to fix it. The church was not hiding its astronomy. The church funded its astronomy because the church needed the answer. The date of the resurrection of Christ depends on the position of the sun. An object built to face the sun at Heliopolis. Moved by an emperor. Present at the executions in Nero's circus. Stood for 1,200 years outside a church built over a martyr's grave, exorcised of its solar associations, topped with a cross and earth from Calvary, then turned into a solar clock. Its shadow still marks the zodiac at noon. The equinox it measures still determines the date of Easter. The church knew what it was doing. It left the record. The inscriptions are carved in stone. The meridian strip is laid in the pavement. The engineering manual is in the libraries. The question the record leaves open is a different one. The stone came from a temple to the sun. It stood while an empire rose and fell. It watched a religion born in the circus, where it stood spread until it owned the circus and the hill and the city. It was exorcised of the sun and then turned back toward the sun. What does a thing like that measure?
This has been the Digital Madman. If you enjoyed this, please share it, subscribe, and smash the like button so we can get the algorithm to pick it up. Thank you, and I will speak with you next time.